Hello, everyone, and welcome back. So what's on tap for today? Well, we're continuing our reaction video series on the debates between Ana Kasparian and Ben Shapiro. This time it's part 5 of the debates, and the question of the day was, what are your thoughts on California? California, love it or leave it. We're going to get to all that in the next few seconds, but before we do so, just wanted to introduce ourselves. We are the Dr. Nasir Shaikh Show. That's what you're watching, folks. We'd love for you to subscribe to the channel, like, share, comment below, hit that notification bell. I'm your guest host. My name is Dr. Nasir. Let's get to that video right now, part 5, Ana versus Ben.
Just a little bit of a shift because you got my attention earlier. You're both born and raised in California. You left, you stayed, but we had an interesting conversation at the dinner table that maybe your perspectives on California aren't all that different. Ben, I know you said you were afraid your kids were going to have a difficult time because of their political views. So are you sad that you left California? Or tell us?
I have not thought for one day about that decision. That was it was one of the best decisions that I have ever made for my family. We are overjoyed. Florida is a wonderful state. Basically, because of my Orthodox Jewish faith, that means that I had to move to a place that had some significant Jewish resources. And so I was looking for a place that had those resources, was in a red state, preferably with 0% state income tax. And that narrowed it down to basically Dallas and Florida. And so we ended up in Florida. It's wonderful. But I mean, it wasn't just that. It was really a lifestyle thing, because my wife for years was saying, yeah, we're paying higher taxes, but you make a lot of money. So, that's fine. But the problem is you don't get any of the public services back in California. So in our area, which was a fairly decent suburb, you had just an inundation of homelessness in the area. Like, my kids could not walk around the neighborhood. We'd open up our front gate. There'd be a person shooting heroin in their foot literally in front of our house, or a person passed out on the street. We had our business on Ventura Boulevard. We had to board up windows during the George Floyd, some protests, some riots. We had, there was a homeless person who smashed the front plate glass window of our establishment. When we left and we moved our main business to Nashville, and then my family and a small core of the business moved to Florida. When we left, we thought that we were going to lose probably half the people working for us. Instead, I think over 90% of the people were like, you're going, get us out of here. Everybody wanted out. There's a reason people are leaving California.
Well, Ana, you shared some concerns too, and California, like Pennsylvania, lost another congressional seat. So their population is not growing, certainly not at the same rate as Texas, Florida, et cetera. So share some of your concerns, because you talked a little bit about it before.
Sure. So California is poorly governed right now. I was pretty blunt and transparent about the fact that I signed the petition to recall Gavin Newsom. So
I signed it too. We were on exactly the same page before I left.
Right. Now, unfortunately, the individuals running against him were worse than he was or is. And so, unfortunately, when the ballot showed up to in my mailbox, I ended up voting against the recall. But I was hoping that there would be a better candidate to challenge him. I didn't like any of the candidates. Now, the reason why I've decided to stay in California is because I love the state. I know what the state is capable of, and I would much rather stay and fight to make the state better in any capacity that I have. But with that said, the issues in California are endless. You have corruption. I mean, literally a city council member had his office raided by the FBI because of the pay-for-play scheme that he was engaged in. You have real estate developers running amok. You have this effort to build public housing to alleviate some of the homelessness, but at the same time, you have the lawmakers in the state giving these sweetheart deals to developers who are very clearly inflating their prices and taking forever to build said public housing. So there's all sorts of mismanagement. I disagree with the way that they're handling the homelessness issue as well, although I think my solutions might be a little different. I think that this idea of being incredibly laxed with camping has been pretty disastrous and has attracted, homelessness isn't just a California issue, it's an issue throughout the country. But when other states are pretty strict against encampments and California is very lax, what do you think that's going to do? It's going to attract homelessness in the state as well. I want to provide housing for everyone. I consider it a human right. But I think the way that these...
Just have to stop it there. So she considers housing a human right. Nowhere in the Constitution is that enshrined inside there. Look, it's a nice platitude to have. It works well, it messages well, it sounds well. Feelings, you care about it, coming from a progressive person, from the left. Yeah, everybody needs a home. That would be great if we were, in a utopia, but we're not. We're in the real world. That's not going to happen. Some people are going to have, some people are going to not have. What we have to try to do is, what can we do for those people that fall through the cracks? What can we do reasonably without overburdening and overreacting to making the private sector, pay for, subsidize for the homeless. I mean, they're already paying enough in taxes and other things as it is, I believe. And yes, it's great to give back, but when you throw out these disincentives for builders and developers to come into an area to build, and then you say, well, a certain amount of your housing has got to be basically given out for free or at very reduced rates. Well, what's it going to do to subsidize those very low rates or no rates? You're going to have to charge the other people even higher rates to make up for that. So on this part, I completely disagree with Ana.
The state is doing it through a public-private partnership has not worked out at all.
Thank you. So let's move on to another public policy issue, one that's being debated in Washington right now.
Okay, so pretty much, I guess that was pretty much of a draw. I mean, they were just sort of asking their, opinions on what they thought of California and Ben's decision to move him and his family and his business, out of there. And he's happy, like he said, wanted to move to a place that had the facilities and the Jewish, facilities for him and his family. Great. He was also hoping that he could move to a state that had zero income tax, which a lot of people are moving to red states with zero income tax. He's happy with his decision. That's a greatness of this country, that you're moving, you're free to move, to do whatever it is that you want to do if you can do it. Ana countered with saying that, she wants to fight for what she believes in. She wants to fight within the borders of California. Okay, that's fine. So I think that was pretty much of a draw in part 5. I guess we'll just call that, a draw, more of their opinions, nothing that more like policy related, other than the fact that Ana, the only disagreement I would have had was in terms of, housing is an absolute, human right. If that's the case, what is the case for people around the world? What are you going to say about that? Is it a human right for the United States of America to subsidize housing all across the globe because we're the richest nation in the world? I don't know. It's a topic for another day. Anyways, we appreciate you taking the time to watch. Hope you enjoyed this. You've been watching the Dr. Nasir Shaikh Show. I've been your guest host. My name is Dr. Nasir. First time here, if you're a long-time listener or viewer, but you haven't touched that subscription button, go ahead and smash that button. Hit that notification bell, like, share, and follow us. Put your comments down below. Let us know what you think. And I'll leave you with my final thought, which is, when you're right, you're right. And when you're left, you're wrong. See you again next time, folks. Take care and stay safe.